Fun-sized kuma, the piraiba. Piraiba's got a beautiful bite mark right on the snout, on the face. I'm pretty sure that's paroons, even though I cannot discount others like red tails and the hybrids, or the big hybrid, but I think it's paroons. It's a spawning season, and I've seen the paroons lately making me feed more. They eat about 10 times more than usual during the spawning season. Late spring, early summer. It's May 22nd, 2025. I've seen them bother pacu, just a little bit, and some pacu are like missing little bits of. But the albino is missing a little bit on the anal fin. The black pacu is missing a little bit on the upper lobe of the tail. I also think that's paroon's work. And once in a while I catch them almost like on the hunt. I don't know if you can see, there's a big mouth right there, right on the across the back. That's also paroon. So when they start test tasting their tank mates, I know that I have to give them more, a lot more. As far as the piraiba, there was no blood drawn, just an abrasion. So the paroon did not clamp down. Just took it in the mouth and let go. So those are the light abrasions on the snout, on the head. But definitely the upper layer of the skin is missing. No inflammation, no blood. That's good. And no attacks on the tail and the fins, which also good. I think it's the big paroon, which I suppose is the female. She's the instigator, or sometimes the only culprit. The other one sometimes joins, sometimes doesn't. The smaller one, which I suppose is the male. But as I said many times before, the time leading up to the spawning season, courtship, everything, is the most troublesome out of the year on average. The big pacu doesn't have anything that I could ascribe to an attack. The albino has a rip in the upper lobe, and I've seen the paroon mouth, it's that spot over there, so I think that's I have the evidence that this is the paroon's work. That split in the upper lobe of the tail. Normally they don't do it at all, so normally there's nothing like that, nothing to worry about things like that. But as I said, this time of the year you have to be double vigilant and feed them, some of them 10 times more, if not all of them. For sure the red tails have picked up their feeding by 10 times, the paroons did. The jow and the hybrids not so much. Well, thug is always likes to be round, so he has no season. But the big hybrid, he's got a weak digestive system, maybe from suffering from vitamin B1 deficiency when I brought him back from the brink of death, when it was swimming around erratically already. I gave him a vitamin B1 shot and he came back, and that's how I knew it was the thiaminase and the resulting vitamin B1 deficiency. So he doesn't really even like large pieces of food. He prefers smaller, for his size, relatively smaller, like no more than a foot long or so, and no more than 4 to 5 inches around. Otherwise he spits them out. But again, the hybrids are sterile, so I don't think they're feeling that they need to eat more because they have no spawning season. And the Jow, he's just funny. He doesn't do much of anything either out of the norm during the spawning season. So it's piraiba for sure, the paroons, the red tails, yes, definitely. The pacu are video bombing, the crowding up the front. Yeah, for the big hybrid, see how flat and even slightly wrinkly its stomach? Half the time it's like that. You take something huge and then it lays around for a day, 2 or 3, digesting it, and then oftentimes refuses the following feeding, refuses to eat, or maybe 2 feedings it skips, or 1, and then does it again. I think right now it's refused once or twice already, so it's pretty flat right now. The red tails picked out a lot in April. So in May they skipped already, mostly skipped, just took a little, relatively small amounts of fish, but they were able to take 2-foot mullet, like 2 of them at a time, sometimes even 3. So they haven't fed well, I'd say, in the last 2 weeks. And the stomachs are still huge. You can see that the bulge is getting transferred to the back side of the stomach, or the tummy area. And the older guy, bigger guy, whatever. And on B-look it's also flattening out, but it's still bulging. By the way, one of the main reasons for losing red-tailed catfish in captivity is overfeeding, so it's a double-edged sword. You really don't want them to be hungry. You really don't want them to go after the tank mates, and you really don't want to overfeed them. How do you handle that? I don't know. Well, that's our little update on the jumbos. 4,500 gallon